right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Tonight, St. Peter's sewage creeps inside people's homes.
2 to 3 inches of water already formed in the hour that I was gone.
So who's at fault? The massive cleanup bills residents are racking up while they wait for help.
Badly needed rain. It's in the forecast for part of the weekend. When the rain arrives, how much will fall, and when it moves out as you're making your weekend plans.
Plus, our top story tonight, the growing concerns in one neighborhood after a St. Louis police cruiser collides with another car.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. That two-car crash happened 2 nights ago, but it's still sparking controversy. Just a few hours ago, 5 on your side's Robert Townsend spoke with one neighbor whose car was damaged in the collision. Robert joins us live from St. Louis Police Headquarters downtown. Robert.
Mike and Kelly, tonight there are still a lot of questions surrounding the crash that involved a St. Louis police officer. Now, one furious neighbor is among those looking for answers. Caught on camera, this surveillance video taken from a nearby business, the crash in North St. Louis. It happened around 8:30 Tuesday night. It shows a St. Louis police cruiser traveled west on St. Louis Avenue and a white Nissan northbound on Sarah Street when both blew through stop signs. The lights on the officer's squad car were not turned on when the Nissan collided with the back of the police car.
And I couldn't believe it.
Eva Keys says she rushed outside after her roommate heard the loud impact. Keys says after the initial collision, the police car flipped over, knocked down a concrete barrier, damaged a second barrier, and pushed her roommate's red Ford Explorer several feet into her white Oldsmobile parked outside their home. The police car ended up on its roof. Remarkably, no one was seriously hurt.
When I came outside, the fire department and everybody, they were here. You know, then I noticed how, my vehicle was hit. I'm gonna say I blew my stack. I didn't have a choice.
She and other neighbors are still wondering who was at fault. 5 on your side reached out to St. Louis police about the crash investigation and Eva Keys' concerns, but we haven't heard from them. Meanwhile, Keys is clear on what she wants from the police department.
I want them to fix my car.
Could this have been avoided?
Yes, sir.
How?
Stop at the stop sign. It says stop, so what stop means to stop.
So again, at this point, no one from this police department has told us anything about the investigation, the police officer, or the other driver who was involved in that crash. We're live downtown. I'm Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Tonight, the St. Louis City Justice Center is 2 oversight board members short. Both of them, including the board's vice chair, have resigned, criticizing leadership at the facility. Janice Mensah served as vice chair of the Detention Facilities Oversight Board. The group is tasked with monitoring abuse at the city jail. In Mensah's resignation letter, it read, quote, Warden Jennifer Clemens Abdullah should be fired. The City Justice Center should be closed. Mayor Tashara Jones should be ashamed. I resign. Fellow board member Mike Milton resigned today, saying, I'm stepping down from this idle and ineffective board. Mayor Jones made a number of progressive campaign promises of transparency, but instead we faced constant obstruction. Mayor Jones responded saying she stands by the jail commissioner.
I absolutely have confidence in Jennifer Clemens Abdullah still leading our City Justice Center, or the CJC. She has overseen upgrades of several $1 million to make sure that the doors and the locks work. It's not a jail if the doors don't lock. And is overseeing new programming coming into the jail, as well as new health care. There are a whole host of issues that need to be addressed with our facility, and I absolutely have the confidence that Jennifer Clemens Abdullah can lead the CJC through those changes.
Mensah has called for the jail's leader to resign before and was handcuffed and cited for trespassing during a demonstration outside the jail in August. During an interview last month with 5 on Your Side, Jennifer Clemens Abdullah, the commissioner, defended her work and said many of these problems started well before she took over the position.
Tonight, a mother and her child are safe after 5 men broke into their home. It happened last night in North St. Louis County. At least 2 of the 5 are in police custody, Nathaniel Gibson and Jaden Martin. The police report says the armed men pretended to be police officers so the woman would open the door to her Bellefontaine neighbor's home. They forced themselves inside, ransacked the house, and stole the woman's keys and purse, all while pointing guns at the mother and son, according to police. Police got to the house. By the time they were leaving, they chased them down and caught Gibson and Martin. They're each being held on a $500,000 bond and face more than a half dozen charges.
Tonight, one person is dead after a crash on I-255 in St. Clair County. This happened at 7:45 this morning. Illinois State troopers say when they arrived, a van was in a ditch in between two bridge crossings. The driver was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are still investigating what led to that crash.
Some people living in St. Peters say the holiday season got off to a bad start after sewage backed up into their homes Thanksgiving night.
The city says it's not their fault, but the residents aren't at fault either. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski spoke with the city and neighbors who are now out tens of thousands of dollars. Laura?
Mike and Kelly, this sewage backup essentially ruined 3 entire finished basements in just a matter of hours. And now these neighbors want the city of St. Peters to step in.
Sean Lehman says Thanksgiving night, his stepdaughter was the first one home to find a clogged toilet, which he had no idea would spiral into a more than $40,000 ordeal the next morning.
When I came home and opened my laundry room door, there was 2 to 3 inches of water already formed in the hour that I was gone. And it was just bubbling out of the drain.
And it kept coming until the water reached roughly 6 inches up the wall.
It was toilet paper, it was other, yeah.
Raw sewage floating in his finished basement, destroying everything it touched.
The restoration company tore out all of the carpet in the basement, all the pad, tore all the drywall up 2 feet up off the ground.
His neighbors across the street, Linda and Stephen North, were spending Thanksgiving in Texas when they got the bad news their basement had also been filled with sewage.
When we got home, we couldn't stay here. I mean, as soon as you walked in the garage, it was just like a wall of nasty.
Not only did it take away their trip and belongings, North says it's taking their Christmas too.
Most people, they want to have their holiday in their home, and I'm sorry, I'm going to get emotional. I can't have my grandkids like I usually do in my home.
Lehman and North tell us the city of St. Peters told them it can't help them with the cost of damages. The city sent us a statement saying in part because the city of St. Peters was not aware of any blockage before the backup happened and did not have the opportunity to clear a blockage if one existed, that claim was denied by the insurance claim administrator.
It's just totally unacceptable.
Also in the statement from the city, they say, quote, after a thorough inspection, no blockage was found, but the line had been clogged by fats, oil, and grease buildup. You can read that whole statement on KSDK.com.
It is a hot debate since legalizing marijuana. Can counties collect a sales tax on recreational pot sales? St. Charles County is heading to court over it. The county says the counties have a right to collect sales taxes, even if there's also a local town sales tax on it. Critics say it's unconstitutional to have overlapping taxes.
After 8 years, the St. Louis Public School District Board voted to cancel its partnership with the College Kids Savings Program. The program establishes saving accounts for every student once they enter kindergarten. It starts with $50 and grows as students and families participate in literacy activities. These funds are later used for things like college expenses, early college programs, and trade schools. The canceled partnership means students can't automatically have accounts open. Now, reportedly, only 15% of eligible students in the district were taking part. The program was launched back in 2015 by then Treasurer Tashara Jones.
St. Louis's beloved elephant Raja is moving to Ohio. We have grown to love him over these last 30 years, but by late 2024 or early 25, he will be in Columbus. The move is part of the Associate of Zoos and Aquarium Species Survival Plan. The goal is to have Raja help Asian elephants from going extinct.
In the wild, male elephants don't spend years and years and years with the same group of females. Well, all of the females that are of reproductive age are his daughters. So it's time for him to move on and start a new family.
St. Louis will receive a 15-year-old male from the Portland, Oregon Zoo In the meantime, another elephant of ours, Jade, is now pregnant. She's due late next year or early 2025.
It's a new era in St. Louis hockey. Tonight, the Blues played their first game since firing head coach Craig Berube, the only coach to ever lead them to the Stanley Cup. Corey Miller is here to let us know how interim coach Drew Bannister did in his debut. Corey?
Mike, the Craig Berube firing came as a shock to many Blues fans, as well as the man now tasked to replace the Stanley Cup winner. Today was the first day of the Drew Bannister era for the Blues, and he got thrown right into the fire. The Blues face former Blue Vladimir Tarasenko in Ottawa in Bannister's debut tonight at Enterprise Center, and the team no doubt had a spark about it. 11 players on this current Blues team have actually played for Bannister in Springfield or San Antonio before, and the new coach knows that's an advantage that will make his arrival in St. Louis go much smoother.
I think for them, it's going to be an easier transition for them, knowing me and knowing what I expect and how I do things on a day-to-day basis. But it's going to be something, with the players that they're going to see a lot of what they saw when I was in Springfield with them. And if you watched our teams at all, we're a highly competitive team and we're resilient. And I think that's something that we're going to start to work on here with this group here.
We will have full highlights from tonight's game and hear from an emotional Jordan Kyrou coming up in sports. Mike?
Commuter concerns.
We're starting to look at kind of the speeds of the area, some of the crash rates.
How to make your voice heard before any new road projects on I-70. Does the pen you use to write checks make it harder for criminals to steal from you? Re-verify the technology thieves use now and how you can best keep your cash untouched.
The week ends warm, but this system is going to bring us rain at times Saturday. A look at Futurecast to time out the rain and when it feels more like December should feel in St. Louis.
The U.S. Supreme Court will not block the Illinois assault rifle ban. The law prohibits the possession, manufacture, or sale of semi-automatic rifles and high-capacity magazines. Anyone who already owns an assault weapon must register them with Illinois State Police. The law goes into effect January 1st.
Tomorrow, 3 men accused of human trafficking are expected in court in St. Charles County. A bond hearing was scheduled for today, but it was pushed until tomorrow morning. All 3 pled not guilty to keeping another man captive and torturing him for months. Prosecutors do not want bond because of the suspect's wealth and influence. The judge fears the men are flight risks and is keeping them in custody until their trial.
Residents in Florence are being told to take extra safety precautions after a woman is sexually assaulted in her home. Police say the woman was entering her apartment in the 700 block of Mendocina Court Tuesday night when a man approached her and forced his way in. The victim told police the suspect was wearing a mask and appeared to be in his teens and around 6 feet tall. Police say sexual assaults are rare in Florissant, and they add in this particular case, it appears the suspect never implied to have a weapon. One neighbor says they would like to see cameras installed and says people plan to be extra vigilant.
We're making sure that we keep in contact and, we really want to start like a neighborhood watch program because, we got to keep each other safe.
Police ask if you live near the area where this happened and have seen anything out of the ordinary, you're asked to call Florissant Police.
Tonight, MoDOT received feedback from St. Louis residents about concerns along I-70. Engineers and consultants are gathering information ahead of future road projects from the Missouri River in St. Charles County to Hanley Road, just past the I-170 and 70 interchange. They're looking at speed limits and crash rates in the area. They want to hear from commuters themselves as they work to improve the interstate.
So then we can take that back, work through the team to look at between the engineering aspects that we need to address as well as the concerns that the public has and how we can try to make sure to address as many of the issues with any future projects.
If you couldn't make tonight's meeting, you can visit MoDOT's website to fill out the survey with your own concerns, and you can find a link in the As Seen on TV section of our website, KSDK.com. Taking a road trip for the holidays? Now's a better time than ever to fill up your tank. AAA says Missouri has the lowest gas prices in 31 months. The statewide average is just $2.67 a gallon. The national average is $3.10. The last time Missouri's gas was this cheap was on May 4th, 2021.
Check fraud linked to mail theft has been surging across the country. The crooks tamper with the checks and steal from your bank account. 5 on Your Side viewer Patty Hogue asked us to verify a tip that claims to make checks more tamper-proof, and Allred verifies.
This fall, an average of 10,000 checks per month were stolen out of USPS mailboxes, according to the cybersecurity research group at Georgia State University. 5 on Your Side viewer Patty Hogue from Rock Hill asked the Verify team, is it true if you use a gel pen to write checks, it's harder for criminals to wash the checks? Let's verify. Our sources, Dr. David Myman, director of the evidence-based cybersecurity research group at Georgia State, and Matthew Villicana, team leader for the USPS Financial Crimes Unit in our region. Since check washing surfaced, experts often suggested using a gel pen to write your checks. The gel ink was more resistant to the chemicals criminals were using to remove the ink, so they could rewrite the checks to themselves for a higher amount. So yes, gel pens could help deter check washing. But in my hunt for this answer, I learned new information. Experts told me criminals have evolved. They're no longer taking the time to wipe away ink with chemicals. Instead, they're using computer software to make identical blank checks that look just like yours.
They will scan the signatures of the original owner of the check to the software, and they will start printing those checks and change the check numbers on the top.
The experts say there is no pen that can stop this new evolution of check fraud. We can verify no. Gel pens can no longer make check fraud harder for criminals because many criminals no longer need to erase ink to create counterfeit checks. The USPS Financial Crimes Unit leader I spoke with says, check with your bank. Most banks have programs you can sign up for that will alert you to the possibility of fraudulent checks before they clear your bank account. He also says if you're mailing a check through USPS, don't drop it in a mailbox, walk it into the post office. I'm Ann Allred, 5 on Your Side. Do you have a question for the Verify team? Email me. The email address, verify@ksdk.com.
Well, another unseasonably warm day in December. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with this weather first forecast. And how long is this going to continue, Scott?
Well, we've got one more really nice day tomorrow, although it won't be as bright as it was today. But you know, it's cooling off pretty quickly across the area tonight. Temperatures, once you get away from town and in the areas where we can get that breeze to settle down, temperatures already in the 30s. Right now, DeSoto down to 32, 34 in Chesterfield. But Warrenton has a little bit of a breeze. Plus, we're looking at some of those high clouds coming in from the west. And that is already starting to put a kibosh on our cool down for the overnight hours. So most of us won't drop a lot more than where we are right now. On schedule flights here at Lambert, another one coming in for a landing right now. In St. Louis, we have some high thin clouds. That's about it. If you're checking out or trying to check out the meteors tonight with the Geminid meteor shower, just remember you got to get far away from those city lights. And even then, you know, you may have to be out there for a half hour or an hour before you see something cruising across the sky. But there were quite a few last night if you were in the right spot. 44 right now, 59 for the high temperature today. Our average high is 45. This morning's low was 32. Tomorrow morning we'll start at 37 degrees in town. Outlying areas, again, already getting close in some cases to those lows in the 30s. Listen, this is an interesting weather pattern for the weekend. We have this system back to our west here coming out of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, and energy that's crossing out of Canada and dropping into the U.S. from the northwest. So these two systems are actually going to team up, and the rain has already been spreading across parts of Kansas down into Oklahoma and Texas. That's going to head our way. But first, we get the clouds on the increase. So tomorrow's not as bright, but it's warm. Temperatures are in the upper 50s. Let's time it out. We have a dry Friday. Clouds are on the increase. Then we get the light rain later Friday night. Should be on our doorstep around midnight. Overnight lows tomorrow night well above freezing in the lower 40s. Here we are at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. We still have a widespread area of showers we're dealing with. That scoots off to the east, and then we wrap around some more scattered showers here heading into Friday evening. How much rain are we talking about with this system? Well, we're thinking as it pushes towards us and swings through, it'll give us upwards of a quarter to a half an inch in many locations. Some might get a little more, especially northeast of St. Louis, some a little less. But as we know, it's exceedingly dry, and those drought conditions continue across the area. So any rain is beneficial. Temperatures Saturday and Sunday, cooler, only around 50. And then on the backside of this system, as it works its way up the East Coast, it's going to drag some pretty chilly air our way. So highs on Monday and Tuesday. Here's a dramatic adjustment for you. It'll actually feel like December in St. Louis. We're talking 43 for the high on Monday, and that may be generous. Plus, there's a bit of a breeze. So Monday is actually going to have a wintertime feel, but it's only for a couple of days.
Then
and
it warms right back
we're
up.
back
Warms
above
back
50.
up again.
All right, Scott, thanks. Sports is next with Corey.
If Doug Armstrong was hoping to give the Blues a jolt by firing Craig Berube, he had to like what he saw tonight. We'll break down an exciting debut for interim coach Drew Bannister up next in sports.
And with less than a week to go, there are just fewer than 450 Little Wishes to grant. 5 on Your Side teamed up with the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition to provide holiday gifts to area kids impacted by foster care. If you would like to help out, just go to ksdk.com/Little Wishes.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
If firing a coach isn't a wake-up call for a team, I don't know what is. Craig Berube's departure was more about the Blues as a whole than Chief himself, but desperate times called for desperate measures, and for at least tonight, it brought a spark. Interim head coach Drew Bannister behind the bench for the first time as the Blues hosted Ottawa tonight, and here comes that spark. Robert Thomas on the breakaway, 1-0 Blues. St. Louis had the first 11 shots tonight. Second period, Thomas gets the puck in front, and that's his second goal of the game. 3 minutes later, Nick Leddy, Brandon Saad, 3-0 Blues. Who are these guys? Here comes the moment of the night, though. Hometown boy Brady Tkachuk takes on Tyler Tucker in a true heavyweight bout. Look at them going at it. Those are a couple of big fellas. Mom and Dad Tkachuk knew that was a good scrap up in the box watching tonight. Pavel Buchnevich added a third-period goal, and the Blues win Drew Bannister's debut 4-2 over the Senators and snap their 4-game losing streak.
Obviously, he's coached and been responsible for a lot of guys getting to where they are now, and so it's going to take some time to get used to everyone, but you know, he's a good calm voice behind the bench, and I think everyone fed off it really well. Obviously a big game for everyone, you know, Drew included. We wanted to get this win for him, and it was a pretty special moment for everyone in this room.
Well, it was a whirlwind of a day for Jordan Kyrou. At morning skate, the forward offered a no comment, he's not my coach anymore answer when asked about Craig Berube, and Blues fans responded by booing him during tonight's game. Kyrou was a +3 and added an assist tonight, and after the game he clarified his comments and got emotional as well.
You know, I obviously respect Chief, you know, he's been my coach for the whole time I've been here, right? So, you know, I respect everything he's done here. You know, he's done a great job, you know, he won a cup, right? So all I really meant was, you know, I'm just trying to focus on my future and, you know, focus on what I can do to help my team win. I mean, it's just tough, right? Like, you know, I love playing here, so it's tough to hear the fans booing me there. Sorry.
Baseball's hot stove season has shown some signs of springing to life today. Nothing from the Cardinals, but there were a few moves Cardinals fans will be interested in. Former Cardinal Jack Flaherty is heading to Detroit, as confirmed by his Isaiah Thomas social media post. ESPN's Jeff Passan reports the Tigers are getting Flaherty on a 1-year, $14 million deal. Flaherty's looking to bounce back this season after logging an ERA near 5 with the Cardinals and Orioles last year. Huge day for the Dodgers. First, they introduced their new $700 million man, Shohei Ohtani. That Los Angeles number 17 jersey he's putting on recently broke a jersey sales record on Fanatics with the most sales within 48 hours of first release. But the Dodgers were not done with that today. Passan and others are also reporting that LA has pulled off a trade with the Rays for starting pitching. They're getting Tyler Glasnow and outfielder Manuel Margot. Young pitcher Ryan Pepio and outfielder Johnny DeLuca are reportedly heading back to Tampa Bay. Glasnow is perhaps the top name on the starting pitcher trade market. Some running back news for the Missouri Tigers tonight. They got a commitment from 2024 four-star running back Kwan Lacey. Lacey is a Texas native who picked Missouri over Ole Miss and Alabama. He's a 6-foot, 205-pound back, ranked as a top 20 high school senior at his position by 24/7 Sports. So, first game in the new coach era goes well for the Blues.
A
Good
spark
start.
for, like you said, one game at least.
It's one game.
We'll see how long it lasts.
They had a good night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, still ahead, a new employee in St. Peter's is sure to boost morale. The role the newly hired K9 will play in the hospital system. Scott Connell loves a good theme night, and Scott tickets for 10 of the Cardinals' most popular theme nights are now on sale for the 2024 season. That includes Star Wars Night, Margaritaville Night, Pride Night, and St. Louis Blues Night. You can head to the Cardinals website to purchase those tickets.
Say hello to K9 Millie. BJC St. Peter's just introduced her today. Millie will work with the police department to attend special events and assist with traumatic or emotional calls for service. The goal is for Millie to offer support during time crisis.
And so tonight it'll be a little chilly.
It's a little chilly. You still have a chance, bundle up, going outside. You still have a chance to see those meteors tonight if you're away from the city. Even in St. Charles last night, I couldn't see it.
Well, there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.